Hey everybody, I wanted to show you guys about findagrave.com, the things you can find on it, what information you might find useful, and just kind of the layout of the site. So as you can see here, this is findagrave.com. This is the home page. It's very simplistic, very easy to navigate. For those of you that don't know what Find a Grave is, it is a database and collection of cemetery information acquired from tombstones or other memorials of your ancestors. And what happens is you can sort through graves either by person or by cemetery, and then at those cemeteries volunteers have gone out and they have taken pictures of millions and millions of graves and tombstones. They've indexed the information on those tombstones and transcribed it, and then they have posted it on the site to share with everybody. If you use MyHeritage or Family Search or Ancestry.com, you may have come across Find a Grave records before. Find a Grave shares their indexes with those sites to help people find information about their ancestors. About a year and a half ago, Find a Grave was acquired by Ancestry.com, and not much has changed on the site. The still basic premise of what the site does and that it's free for everybody helps, and nothing has changed since Ancestry has acquired it. So on the home page, you can see here on the left side, it's all about finding famous graves, and on the right side, which is going to be probably of more interest to you, is finding graves of your ancestors. You can also, the neat thing about Find a Grave is not only can you just find the information, you can help contribute information to the website. So you can see also that they have a mobile app that helps you do that as well. And I'll create a separate video on the Find a Grave mobile app. So I'll show you a couple different ways that you can sort through records. First is you can just search the 121 million grave records. That number increases every single day as more records are transcribed and uploaded to the site. You can search by cemetery. Those are going to be your two easiest ways to go about searching. You can also add burial records, view recently added names, stroll through the site, see the top 50 contributors, view their surname index, and then also another thing that I'll create a video on is uploading and transcribing. So just like indexing for Family Search, these records need to be transcribed as well, and they have a new feature that lets you do that. So I'll go ahead and show you the two easiest ways to search. The first is searching just by the record. I'll do my grandfather as an example. So I'm going to type in his first name and his last name. You can also include maiden names in the search. If you have an idea of where he's buried, you can help narrow down the records by filling in as much information as possible. So I'll leave it with that and then click search. And then you can see right here it pops up with his record. Now, especially when you view by cemetery, you'll see that there are icons. What those icons mean, the flower means that there are flowers at that gravesite. The star means that it is a famous person. I'm not really sure how they go about deeming who is famous. A heart means that the record is sponsored and that person paid Find a Grave to help support the website. And then there's two photo icons, which I'll show you when we view by cemetery, but the little portrait of Mona Lisa means that there is a picture of the person attached to the record, and then the headstone image represents a headstone pictures attached to the record. So if I click on the person, you can see that it provides birth information and death information, as well as the person who created the record could write a short bio. Then they've also attached some family links down here. Now, just like with any genealogy record that you come across, remember to do your own vetting and proofing to make sure that this record and the information provided within the record is accurate and is your correct ancestor. Other things you'll notice is it lists the siblings right here, and you can see Milton T. Krincke, which is his brother, has a little asterisk next to it, and what that means is it is a calculated relationship. So in his brother's record, it listed him as a brother, so the computer has already made the connection that because in his brother's relationship it listed him as a brother, that the opposite is true as well, that it goes both ways. So just be mindful of a calculated relationship and investigate those thoroughly. Another thing it will say is where the person was buried and any cemetery info that's available, such as plot numbers. So let me go back and show you how it looks from searching from a cemetery viewpoint. So we'll view the same cemetery where my grandfather is buried. You can type the name. The best way is to type as much information you know as possible and then narrow it down with some of the search features here. And then you can see we're going to want Palm Valley Lutheran Church Cemetery. A little camera icon here means that there is a picture or pictures of the cemetery, and then a map icon gives you a link to Google Maps. Intermittence is the amount of people buried there, and then percent photographed is out of that number how many tombstones have photographs attached to it. So when I click on the cemetery here, I can search in the cemetery just like I did from the broad search, or I can go and view everybody at that cemetery. So as you can see here, it lists all the records, and here's where those pictures came into play. So the tombstone here, meaning there's a picture of a tombstone, and then the Mona Lisa here, which means there's a picture of a person. So if I click on, we'll just click on this person here, and as you can see, it just means that there is a picture of the tombstone attached. And then that cemetery picture icon just means that there was a cemetery picture, and anybody that is buried in the cemetery and the cemetery is attached to their record will have this picture as well. So we'll go back one more and then I'll show you. Let's go back to the cemetery page. And then you can see one of these records that has a personal picture that somebody has uploaded a personal picture as well. Up at the top, you have the icons memorial, photos, which takes you to their photos, and flowers, which takes you to the flowers page. Other things you can do to add to a record is add a person, add a photo for this person. So whether it is a picture of the person or a picture of their tombstone, you can add it here. And the last thing you can do regarding photos is you can request a photo. So if a person has put that they live close to a cemetery, you can click this button and send a request for what tombstone, and that person can go out knowing that you need a specific picture and look about taking that picture for you. Other than that, that's about all there is to looking at records on Find a Grave. If you have any questions or want me to go into a more certain feature more specifically, be sure and leave that down in the comments below. Other than that, good luck searching Find a Grave, and I hope you find some good records.